Welcome to class. My name is Alicia. For those of you tuning in for the first time, welcome in, welcome in. Today's class, we'll be talking about the joints. And our journal prompt based on the joints is, what things do I need to bring closer in my life? Second question, what things do I need to move further away from in my life? And we will be working out of the text, the Yoga Anatomy Coloring Book. So I'm going to go ahead and read our passage that we are studying in our bodies today. All right, so we are going to talk about types of joints, specifically the synovial joints. So today we're talking about the synovial joints. They are the most mobile type of joint. And this type of joint has a joint capsule in the actual joint itself. This is where the synovial fluid is produced. And you can think of synovial fluid as WD-40 for the joints. It keeps them lubricated and moving smoothly. The only way to produce synovial fluid is by movement. This is one of the reasons why sedentary people are stiff. Movement also disposes of used up or old fluid. So moving your joints is kind of like giving them an oil change. So we'll today specifically be focusing in on flexion and extension of the synovial joints. So if you stand in a Western anatomical position described as a mountain pose, and then you start to bend and straighten, you will be flexing and extending. These joint angles become smaller when you flex, or in flexion. That's when your bones get closer together. In extension, the joint becomes larger, so the bones move away from each other. So we're going to observe this during the practice today in your body, the flexion and the extension, and how that feels. How does that relate to what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, what you're sensing in your body? All right. Take your journals, set them to the side, and we will begin on the backs.
Thanks.
Lay down on your back. All right, I see everyone commenting in on where they're from. And then if you didn't get a chance to, that's okay. You can always say hello at the end of class as well.
Oh.
All right, so get a good angle. Thank y'all for being on the angles of the yoga mat so I can see and give you feedback in real time. All right, from laying on your back, take your right toes and wiggle them. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale, say hello, right toes. These right toes have helped you take every single step you have ever taken. These right toes have been instrumental in wherever you've gone in your life. All right, take a deep breath in. Bring your right knee up to your chest. Then exhale, place your left foot on the floor. So that just to give you a little support, because we're going to move our right hip through flexion and extension. So take a deep breath in, extend your right foot away from you so your heel hovers over the floor. Exhale, hug your right knee in, flex your hip and your knee, hug it in towards your chest. Inhale, extend your leg, your knee and hip, stretch your heel out to hover the floor. Exhale, flex knee and hip. Inhale, extend. Exhale, flex. Inhale, extend. Exhale, flex. You might already start to notice that you're warming up these joints. Inhale, extend. Exhale, flex. Inhale, extend. Exhale, flex, spread your toes. Do 3 more of those. Inhale to extend. Exhale, flex. Inhale, extend. Exhale, flex. Last one, inhale, extend. And then exhale, keep your knee extended, but take your foot up to the sky. So now you kept your knee in extension, but you flexed your hip. So keep your leg straight. Inhale, lower your heel. Keep your leg straight. Exhale, lift your foot, spread toes. So now we're only flexing and extending the hip. Inhale, extend. Exhale, flex. Use your breath. Inhale, extend. Exhale, big sigh out of your mouth. Flex. Inhale, extend. Exhale, flex. Inhale, extend. Exhale, flex. Notice how your hip joint feels. Do 3 more. Inhale, extend. Exhale. 2 more. Notice how it feels. Last one, keep it lifted. Bring your hand behind your thigh, knee, or calf just to draw your leg in a little closer. Notice what sensations you feel in your leg. So we're not trying to touch the leg to the face. We're just observing what it feels like when you help your hip extend and flex. Release. Plant your right foot on the floor and hug your left knee into chest. So now your knee is flexed and your hip is flexed. Take a deep breath in to spread your toes. Exhale, straighten your knee and hover your heel over your mat. Stay here. Inhale, spread your toes wider. Exhale, hug your knee in, flex knee and hip. Inhale, extend knee and hip. Exhale, flex knee and hip. Inhale, extend. Exhale, flex. Inhale, extend. So you might already notice, exhale, flex, that this hip and knee do not feel as warm as your right side yet. Inhale, extend. Exhale, flex. Inhale, extend. Exhale, flex. 3 more like that. Step into awareness, step into observation. Last one, keep your knee into chest. Then stay here, take a deep breath, reactivate your toes. Exhale, lift your leg up. Then inhale, keep your knees straight. Stretch out, extend your hip to hover your heel over the mat. Exhale, keep your knees straight. Lift your foot up. Inhale, hover your knee. Extending your hip. Exhale, flex your hip. Inhale, extend hip. Exhale, flex. Inhale, extend. Spread your toes. Exhale, flex. Inhale, extend. You might even feel your lower abdomen helping you flex. Lift your foot. Do 3 more like that. Use your breath. Last one, keep your leg lifted. Bring your hand behind thigh, knee, calf. And just bring your leg close enough to you for you to feel something. Once you feel, pause there. Take 2 deep breaths. Sigh something out. Plant your left foot down next to your right foot. Bridge pose. Bring your hands down onto your mat. Bring your heels in so that your heels come to at least where your fingertips are. So you can touch and tickle the backs of your heels with your fingers. If you have a block handy, your handy dandy block, place one block between your thighs. I always like to go midway between knees and hips, midway between knees and crotch, so it's only touching your muscles. Squeeze your block, take a deep breath in. Exhale, press your feet down and your shoulders down, lift your hips up. Squeeze your block, or if you don't have a block, just rotate the fronts of your thighs towards the middle of your legs. Inhale, lift your hips up higher to really extend in your hips. Exhale, press your knees away from your shoulders. 2 more deep breaths. Inhale, lift your hips, lift your chest up. Exhale, tilt your tailbone towards your knees. Last breath in, lift your chest up to chin. Then exhale, lower down slowly the way you came in. Remove your block, set it to the side. And then hug your knees into your chest. Downward facing dog. You can choose either to roll onto your side, use your hands and come into down dog. Or if you'd like to play, you can roll forward, cross your legs at your ankles, bring your hands down and your feet back into downward facing dog. In your down dog, flex your toes. Bend your knees to touch, bring your knees to stretch your toes left and right. Left and right. Take a few breaths, a big sighs out of your mouth to let go of the tension out of your feet from wearing shoes today or yesterday. Maybe you wore shoes all week. And then come into the top of a push-up, high plank. Engage your core. Take a deep breath in through your nose to spread your fingers. Exhale, downward facing dog. So in this plank, you're the same position, the same spacing of your feet and hands. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, down dog. Keep your core engaged. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, down dog. Notice that we're flexing, extending the hip joints. Inhale, high plank. We're also flexing, extending the shoulders. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, high plank. Sherry, get your hips a little lower in your plank. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, high plank. And then lower your knees. Lower your hips down into cobra. So you can lower down, bend your elbows. You can choose how high you want to be. If you want to keep your belly on the floor, that's cool. You want to lift your chest off the floor, that's cool too. If you're lifting off, reach your shoulders back. Yeah, like that, Niqua. Spread your fingers wide. Point your toes straight back from your ankles. Inhale, lift your chest up. Dr. Banana, press your shoulders back more. Hug your elbows in towards your body. Yes, spread your fingers wider, Niqua. Yes, really, really wide. Exhale, downward facing dog. Today, we're gonna have some fun with hip extensions, with dynamic movement. So right now, inhale, lift your left leg straight up and back. And here, keep your hips level with each other. So your right hip might want to lift up, lower it down so that it comes back in line. Exhale, lower your leg. Inhale, lift right leg back and up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift right leg back and up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift right leg up. Hold it. And then bend your knee. Lift your right hip on top of your left, just to give a little bit of extra feeling in your psoas. That's the front of your hip. Release, downward facing dog. And you can bring your knees down to give your hands and shoulders a break. Other side, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Level out your hips, lower your left hip. Lower your left hip just a smidgen, Fatima. Then lower your leg. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Great modification with knees down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift and hold. And then bend your knee, lift your hip up to stack on top of your right hip. Release. Downward facing dog. Lift your heels up and tippy toe to the top of your mat. Forward fold. Woo. Oh yeah. By now, all the flexion and extension probably has you feeling a little bit warmer. So we're going to warm it all the way up with our classical variations. So let me lift your point of view because I'll be standing. There we go. Let me decrease my angle on my mat for y'all. There we go. All right, come to stand at the top of your mat. You can have your blocks nearby. Inhale, reach your arms out to the sides. Come all the way up to stand. Exhale, and bring your arms down by your sides into mountain. Set your feet up so that your ankles are right under your hips and your hips are right under your shoulders. So see if you can feel your joints. They call it joint stacking. See if you can feel the stack of your pelvis over ankles, shoulders over hips. Inhale, reach your arms up. And then take a baby back bend, lift your chin, open your throat. Exhale, fold forward, bring your chest all the way to thighs. So we're flexing at your hips. Low lunge, step your right foot to the back of your mat. Option to use your blocks under your shoulders and make your stance as long as you can, as long as it feels comfortable. Here, option to keep your knee lifted to protect any sensitive knees, or you can lower it. Inhale, lift your chest up. At the same time, press your hips down. So check in with your blocks. If you're using blocks, blocks are right under your shoulder. So if they're away from you, it makes your body work harder than necessary. Bring your hands right under shoulders. Half splits, also called half Hanumanasana. Straighten your front leg, line your hip up over your knee. There you go. Flex your toes back towards your face. Inhale, stretch your chest towards the top of your mat. Exhale, stick your tailbone up towards the ceiling. And then for our variation, Bend your front knee, plant your left foot into the floor for vertical splits. In this pose, I like to take my left hand and bring it onto my ankle because for me, I feel more stability. But you can also have your hands on the floor, shift your weight forward until your right foot hovers, and then lift your leg up. Exhale, forward fold. Bring both feet down to the floor. Inhale, reach all the way up. Baby back bend, look up, lift your chin. Exhale, fold forward. Step your left foot back. Inhale, lift your chest, lower your tailbone. Option to use your blocks. On this side, my hips feel a little tighter, so I lift my blocks higher. And remember, you have that option with your blocks. Stay here for an inhale. Exhale, half Hanumanasana, half splits. Straighten your front leg and flex your toes back. Inhale, stretch your chest way forward. Exhale, shift your weight onto your right leg for vertical splits. Lift your left leg up high. Forward fold. Inhale, rise up. Baby back bend. Exhale, fold forward. Step your right foot back, low lunge. Inhale, option for hands down or reach your hands up. Exhale, half splits. Or if you're knee sensitive today, you could be doing the extended pyramid. So extended pyramid is with knee lifted. Inhale. Vertical splits. Shift your weight to the left foot. Float your right foot up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise to stand, baby back bend. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, low lunge, step left foot back. Reach your chest up, arms up, optional. Exhale, half splits. Inhale, vertical splits. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, baby back bend. Stand and reach up through your sternum. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, step your right foot back. Low lunge. Exhale, half splits. Inhale, vertical split. Shift your weight forward, lift your back foot. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, stand up, reach up. Exhale, fold. Last side. Step your left foot back. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, half splits. Inhale, vertical splits. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stand and reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Mountain pose. Set yourself up so that your both feet look like an equal sign. Then bend your knees into chair. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, shift your weight onto your left leg. Lift your right heel and then foot. Cross your thigh over. Option to touch your right toes down on the floor on the opposite side of your left foot. Eagle arms. Take your left arm around to your right shoulder. Then bring your right hand to opposite. You can keep your hands on your shoulders or wrap your elbows and wrists. Squeeze, bend into your eagle pose. Inhale, lift your elbows. Lift your chest up. Exhale, warrior three. Unwind your leg. Press your heel back. Unwind your arms for airplane arms. Spread your wings for balance. And warrior one, step your foot all the way back to the back of your mat. Bend your front knee. You can even scoot it forward. Then bring your hands to your hips. Here you get to feel what happens in your right hip when we play with this, okay? This one is really fun. I love to add this little awareness to my hips. Inhale, lift your ribs away from where your hands are. Then exhale, tap your right hip as you reach it forward towards the top of your mat. Once you get forward, re-bend your knee and notice now what your right foot or your right hip feels like. Press your right heel down into the floor. Yeah, like that. From here, take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale, lower your shoulders down. Notice if you're clenching in your jaw, separate your teeth, soften your lips. This hip flexor, this right here that we've been working on all class, this helps every step we take. It contracts. Our psoas is working all the time, everywhere we go. So right here, soften your right butt cheek just a little. Take a deep breath in. Then exhale for lizard lunge. Bring your hands down on the inside of your left foot. Spin your back heel up. You can lower your knee down if you like. You can keep your hands on the floor here, or you can lower your forearms down. We're going to stay here for 3 sides. So take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale, let it out. 2 more, make them big size. Pigeon. Take your left foot. Heel toe, scoot, 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 all the way to the right side of your mat and lower down onto your left butt cheek. Here, take your right arm, inhale, reach it up, lift your chest. We'll add a twist. Exhale, take your right arm to the outside of your left knee. You can stay here upright and stretch back through your right toes, or you can lower your forearms to the ground outside of your thigh. Wherever you go, we'll take 3 sides, make them big. Release, downward facing dog. Press your hands into the mat, send your hips back and up. And then you can move in any way that feels good. Maybe move your hips side to side. You can notice if you feel the difference between your left and right leg. Inhale, lift up to your tippy toes. Exhale, tippy toe to the top of your mat. Tippy, tippy, toe, toe. Press your hands into your shins. Inhale, scoop your chest forward. Lean forward, but keep your heels on the floor. Exhale, fold forward, make a hot sound. Inhale, rise all the way up, take a baby back bend. Exhale, hands to heart, Pranamasana. Chair pose, bend your knees. Inhale, reach your arms up by your ears. Exhale, shift your weight into your right foot, lift your left heel, and then foot up. Cross it over, option to touch toes to the floor. Take your right arm to left elbow, or excuse me, right arm to left shoulder, wrap around to opposite shoulders or wrap your elbows and wrists. Squeeze your legs. Inhale, lean back, lift elbows. Exhale, unwind into warrior three. Lift your left leg, press down through your right leg and open your arms into airplane wings. Warrior one. Guide your foot down to the back of your mat and then widen your front foot over and forward. Bend your right knee. Bring your hands to your hips. So press your back heel down into the mat. And so your foot kind of turns to the side. That's okay. That is working. Yes. Bend your front knee over ankle. Inhale, lift your chest up. Exhale, take your left hip and reach it forward to the top of your mat until you feel something. So it doesn't have to be exactly parallel with the short edge of your mat. We just want to feel connected. You just want to feel something that you can feel when extending your left hip. All right, now we're going to play with what you notice. Extend your hip flexor by scrunching your left butt cheek together. So squeeze, squeeze, squeeze left butt cheek, and then relax. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze left butt cheek, and then relax. So the way that our muscles work is when we contract one side, it lengthens the other. So if you squeeze your butt cheek, in theory, it would lengthen your hip flexor. So just notice if you can feel that. And then take a deep breath in. Exhale into lizard. Bring your hands down. Option to bring your knee down. Option to bring your forearms down. And here's where you'll stay for 3 big sighs to soften your mouth, to lower your forehead. Unclench your hands. Pigeon. Scoot your right foot all the way over to the left side of your mat. Like that. Lower your right butt cheek. Inhale, reach your left arm up. Lift your chest up. Exhale, take a twist. Bring your hand to the outside of your right thigh. You can stay here and lower chin, or you can lower your forearms down to the floor. So choose what feels accessible so that you can take 3 slow sighs. Release, downward facing dog. Bring your hands to the top of your mat. Take your feet back. Oh, yes. Notice how your body feels. Move your hips, bend your knees. Do something that helps you to feel your hips and body. Take 2 or 3 sighs to let go of any lingering tension in your legs, in your back. Then bring your knees down. Grab your blocks if they are within reach. Bring them close to you and come back into downward facing dog.
Take your left leg, reach it straight up and back behind you.
Exhale, scoop your left leg in towards your chest and then step it forward for a low lunge. Lower your right knee. Grab your blocks. If you have them, if you don't have blocks, you can totally keep your hands on the floor. Inhale, reach your chest forward and scoot your toes forward 2 inches. So we'll make 2 inches similar to, let's say, a smidgen. All right, so scoot your foot forward a smidgen for extended low lunge. Inhale, send your hips down and your chest forward. Exhale, half splits. Shift your hips back. Flex your toes back. Stay here and soften your mouth. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, shift your weight back forward into low lunge. Scoot your foot forward a smidgen. Scoot, scoot. You can keep your hands down. Option for your blocks. I'm a prop girl, so I like props. Inhale, send your hips forward. Exhale, half splits. Flex your toes back. Stay here, soften your mouth and take a big sigh. Inhale, low lunge, shift your hips forward. Scoot your foot forward a smidgen. For extended low lunge. So we're going a little deeper every time. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, half splits. So this is now a little bit further than your half splits that we started with. If you find your arms are trying to do some other things, you can readjust them. You can take them off your blocks if you need to and bend your elbows back towards your legs. Extended low lunge, bend your front knee, scoot your foot forward a smidgen. Scoot, scoot. Stay here. Inhale, lift your chest forward and your hips down. Exhale, stay here, sigh something out. Half splits. Flex your toes back. Lower your chest down. Take a deep breath in.
And a big sigh out.
Extended lunge. Scoot your foot forward a smidgen. Take a big sigh. Lift your chest forward. Shoulders back. Soften your mouth.
Exhale, half splits. Take your hips
And your toes back. Take a big sigh. Extended lunge or full splits. So you can go a little deeper or maybe go deeper than you've done before. If you have a block, my favorite way to do splits with a block is to place it under my front thigh. Take a deep breath in and a big sigh out. Lift your chest up. Release. Downward facing dog. Gently come out of your deep hip opening pose. Bring your hands to the top of your mat. Send your hips back and up. Ooh, notice the difference between your hips.
Inhale, lift your right leg up and back. Exhale, step your right foot forward.
Hug your knee in for a low lunge. Take your legs as wide as it feels good. So it's important to start right where you have the access. Since we're going to be going deeper, just go as deep as it feels accessible right now. And then stay here for a big sigh. Inhale, roll your shoulders back. Exhale, soften your mouth. Half splits. Straighten your front leg. Take your toes back. Take a big sigh. Inhale. Extended lunge. Scoot your foot forward a smidgen. Scoot, scoot. Inhale. Lift your chest up and send your tailbone down. Exhale. Half splits. Take a big sigh. Extended lunge, bend your knee. Scoot your foot forward, a smidgen. Scoot, scoot. Inhale, roll your shoulders back, lift your sternum. Exhale, stay for a sigh. Half splits, take your toes back. Straighten your right leg. If you're using blocks, what I like to do is lower down the blocks so that I can bend my elbows and really feel more support and stability. Stay here for a sigh, soften your mouth. Extended lunge, bend your knee. Scoot your foot forward. Scoot, scoot. Inhale, lift your chest up. Exhale, stay for a sigh to soften your mouth. Half split, straighten your front leg. Take a sigh. Extended lunge, bend your knee. This is our last one before we go the final depth. So go as far as it feels accessible. Stay here for a sigh. Soften your shoulders, soften your face. Half splits. Toes back, tailbone back. Extended lunge. Scoot, scoot. Option to extend your foot out all the way. Option to use a block under your thigh. Take a deep breath in. And a big sigh out. Soften your mouth, soften your shoulders. Release. Gently come out of the pose. Lay down on your back, hug your knees into your chest. When you're moving pose, straighten your left leg. Hug your right knee in. Roll your right ankle 3 times in both directions. Straighten your left leg along the floor. So you have your right knee flexed and your left leg extended. Twist. Take your right knee across your body. Straighten your right arm away from your right knee. Brahmari breath. Brahmari breath is a technique that acts as an activator of your parasympathetic nervous system. It literally sends signals to your brain that you're okay. It sends signals to your brain to calm you. So take a gentle breath in, fill your lungs to capacity. Then with your lips closed, create a vibration humming sound. Two more, do them bigger than that. Stay here and notice any lingering vibrations you might feel. Bring your low back to the mat. Hug your right knee in for one last squeeze, and then switch your legs. Straighten your right leg on the floor. Roll your left ankle 3 times in both directions. Twist. Extend your left arm away from you. And then take your 3 vibrating breaths. This time, know that it's not just sending signals to your brain, it's sending signals to your joints, it's sending signals to your organs. So you're giving your body an internal full body massage. Take a deep breath in. Exhale with vibration. Notice if you feel any lingering vibrations. Bring your low back to the mat. Re-hug your left leg back in. And then hug both knees in, double wind removing pose. It can seem so one-sided when we think about anatomy and moving our bodies, but literally just bending your knees in this position can activate your digestive system. It can help calm your body because it mimics the fetal position. So our physical movement has an impact on us in non-physical ways. So in this moment, just take a deep breath so that your belly can expand out to touch your thighs. Then exhale and hug your thighs into your belly. Take a few breaths just to expand your belly and contract your belly, and notice something non-physical in this shape. 2 breaths. Happy baby. Connect your hands to feet. Turn your feet to the ceiling and widen your knees out. Here, use your arms to get your knees closer to the floor. Press your tailbone to the floor. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let something go. You have 5 more breaths on the way to Shavasana. So if there are any other poses that are calling to you, or if you just want to go back to your hug with your knees wrapped up in your arms, take 5 breaths and make your way to Shavasana, laying flat on your back. Shavasana. Stay flat on your back, but get a little comfortable. Let your toes fall open. Get a little heavier. Relax your ankles. Unclenching your knees. Unclench in your hips and your butt cheeks. Challenge yourself and see how still you can physically be. Unclenching your belly. Soften your mouth, your lips. Unclench your jaw. Let your head be heavy, soften in your shoulders and your hands. See if you can relax the space between your eyebrows. Now that you've gone from feet all the way up to head, see if you can scan your body and notice any other place in your body where you can let go of gripping. In today's class, we talked about extension and flexion, literally bringing things closer and taking things further away. This is something we can apply to our life. Some things we can bring closer to us. Some things we can take further away. Wiggle your toes and fingers. Hello, toes. Hello, fingers. Hug your knees into your body and choose how you'd like to come up to seated. You can roll onto your side. You can come up any way you desire and then come to seated. Crisscross applesauce or butterfly as we seal in the practice. So the benefit of physical poses, physical yoga, is that we can take the lesson and bring it into our physical body. Well, now that you felt it in your physical body, choose what it was that really stuck out to you and pick that one thing to apply for the rest of your evening or the rest of your week or the rest of your month or year. So if that is, hey, I can use a lot more awareness of moving things away from me and bringing things close to me. Whatever it was in the class that stuck out to you. And still in that commitment, inhale, reach your arms out and up. Then seal your hands together in Anjali Mudra. Bring your hands down past the center line of your body all the way into your heart space. I acknowledge you and the light in you. Namaste. Have your journal. All right, journal now. 3 things that stood out to you in class. Physically and non-physically. So physically could be things like, I noticed that my right hip is tighter than my left hip. I noticed in this pose, I felt blank. Non-physically, I noticed that I kept thinking about blank. I noticed that when the teacher said this pose, I immediately thought of blank. All right, anyone like to share? You're welcome to share. Misty, you okay over there? Are you sleeping? Okay.
I guess I can go first. Hello. Can you hear me?
Hey, Nikwa.
Okay. You can hear me well?
Yeah.
Okay, good deal. So I'll go first. So for the non-physical, it's nothing good, unfortunately. Um, so I am in my dad's garage today. So I'm in a space that I'm normally not in when we do class. And so I noticed that because I'm outside, I'm in a garage, so it's very humid. So I was distracted by the frogs and the two cats that kept passing by. So mentally, I couldn't really relax and lock in. I'm also still recovering from an ankle sprain. And so I don't know why, but the entire time I kept thinking to myself, okay, don't twist this too hard or don't go this deep because I was worried I was going to agitate the injury. Um, but that's where I was mentally. I couldn't lock in. But surprisingly, when it came to the physical things, I actually did a lot better in this class than I did previously because I don't teach this style of yoga. And so I remember starting off with you, it was really difficult for me endurance wise because physically I'm not accustomed to some of the poses. But even with all these distractions and me not being physically locked in, I feel like this is probably the best performance that I've done thus far. So I was
Yeah.
really happy about. Yeah, so aside from the endurance, sorry, it's dark in here. I also didn't realize I could go as deep into a split as I did. This is the first time I did a split series with you. And I'm actually really proud of myself because I just got off a plane 4 hours ago, so I'm stiff. TMI, but today's like the first day of my menstrual. And then again, this is not the normal mat that I use. So even though I wasn't mentally there, I feel like my performance overall was exceptional. So it's a
Yes,
win for me.
you rocked today.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you're like in a man cave situation.
It is my dad's man cave, actually.
I was thinking, I was like, that's a cool room. And I remember you said you were going to your parents. So yeah, very
Mhm.
cool. Well, oh, my husband is coming home, so I'm gonna mute. So go next, somebody else.
Okay.
I will go next. Hi, everybody. So the three things that stood out for me physically was I was noticing that my left hip is a little tighter than the right. So I was noticing that and just that difference and balancing that out. I noticed the balance was easier on my right side. So when we went into airplane, it was easy. When we did it on the left side, I was stumbling. So I wonder if there's some correlation there, with the tightness in the left hip in general. And then I had some tightness in the left shoulder. So when we were doing eagle, on the left side, I just had to touch my shoulders because I didn't want to chance it and just push it too hard. So I noticed that thing, something happening on the left side of my body. So let's see, as far as non-physical, my mind was wandering during the half splits to the low lunge. I was just thinking about all kinds of things like so that was interesting. And then I was more focused with chair when we would go into the chair and just sitting lower and feeling, just feeling that the muscles, my thighs and my buttocks and everything. It was helping me to focus more because again, that was the endurance challenge for me. And then when we were doing the full split, I was surprised and happy that I was able to go as far as I did. And I used the block just to, feel a little more comfortable and safe. But I did notice that I was a little emotional during the splits today. So those were some of the things I noticed.
My husband is very, very lively. So just know that he might be talking in the background. None of his expressions are and they don't like, what do they say on the radio station when they have somebody who might say something controversial? Just yeah, like he's in the background. All right. So so you've mentioned the left side stiffness before, correct? Left shoulder and all that. Okay, so tell me, for your stiffness on the left side, what pose was it, the stiffness on that you could feel the stiffness on the left side? Was it every pose, or was it a specific pose that stood out to you?
It was eagle arms and the low lunge part. Not so much when we would go into the half splits, but the low lunge part. And when we were inching out our foot, that part, yeah.
Okay, so it was when the left foot was forward, or when the left
Yes,
foot was
when the left foot was forward.
So when the left foot was forward, you felt tightness in your left hip flexor?
Yes. But it
Okay,
felt good. The stretch itself felt good, but I just noticed it seemed like my right hip flexor is just more flexible. Like I'm able to go deeper and it was easier. But with the left, it was like kind of like, ooh, but it felt good, but it's just tighter.
Yeah. And so that actually makes a lot of sense, because you're saying you felt more stable on the right side. Well, that left hip flexor was there again, because when you're reaching back and when you're going back in Warrior 3, I'm going to show you. If I'm here, I'm gonna turn around. So this is my right foot, this is my left foot. So if I'm here, left hip flexor back. If I'm here, left hip flexor back. So the feeling, the wobbliness or feeling disconnected in this position, that's a similar engagement of your left hip flexor. So even though it seemed like, oh, well, I was tighter on this side and stronger on this side, it's still left hip flexor when it's involved, that there's that disconnection. So remember, I said left side is more of the feminine side. It doesn't necessarily mean your feminine side. It could mean your maternal side in some component, some element. It could mean like gripping in some element. It could be even generations back. I mean, if you think about it, which I find fascinating, you were present in your mom when she was a baby. And so you were literally in your grandmother, like physically there, a part of you anyway. And so there could be physically some components maternally that you may not be directly in your face because they're not directly correlated to you, but could be correlated to your maternal side. So maybe there is something that they dealt with that, is still lingering on your side, or maybe there's some things that you personally have experienced that are still lingering, because that left side, that outward facing, that facing up out to the public. So that's the left hip flexor. If it was like the left hamstring, then it would be a whole different story. But left side hip flexor is that forward facing side. So maybe, I know for me, my maternal, like there's a whole bunch of stuff prior to my mom, but with my mom, she decided that she wanted to break the cycle, break the curse. And so I have a much better relationship with my mom than my dad. So for me, my right side is stiffer, is tighter. And so, it's really, I get really nerdy when we talk about that kind of stuff, but it's really fascinating to me. So yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing. And I'm so glad my husband was quiet enough for me to share that.
Thank you.
He was saying some words that I did not want y'all to hear earlier. So yes, thank you to the husband. All right. If any of y'all know my husband personally, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, thank you for sharing, Fatima. Thank you for sharing, Nikwa. Sherry, one of a kind. Yes, you are. How do you feel today? You're on mute, by the way.
Hello.
I just, before we came on, I just gotten off work, took off clothes, put on clothes, and then said, "Boop, let's get started." So I have a lot of the, and it's not really stress, but the outdoor, I couldn't get ready for this, but I came in and got ready. But once I got involved in the movements and the stretches and stuff, that's when I brought myself back to me. And that's why I was still laying down and be like, "Are you okay?" I was, girl, I just zoned into me. So I was zoning in. And I noticed that the stretches, the lunge stretches felt good to me. I enjoyed the stretching of that. Just knowing that my body's a lot stronger now because I've been exercising like every day because I want to get my tone back. And so taking your class this go round, and I was able to do 90% of everything and hold everything and do the breathing, and I'm not shaking like, "Oh, hurry up, girl, hurry up." So there is progress. I feel progress on both sides. I just feel progress, just in class. So I feel good about what I'm doing, what I'm making myself do once I come home. But I wasn't present when I got here because I was like, "We have to get this class," and then I hit the button. I'm still thinking about what's out there. But then like 10, 15 minutes in, I was like, "Okay, now I'm here. I'm here." Because you can see
Yes,
I have my space.
it's
So I'm
so lovely.
here. Yes.
It sounds so quiet over there, so serene and peaceful. And so
No
I'm
alarms
really
going
glad that
off.
you hopped in right after work.
Girl, no alarms going off, no eating downstairs and closing and opening of the refrigerator and the opening and closing of the garage and the lights on. None of that. Just me.
Just you. And you
Just me.
totally rocked it today. I saw you taking, your time for you, laying down, doing what you needed. And that's really what it's all about. I was just checking on you, making sure you were good because you weren't moving at all, which is fine. And I'm glad that you were tapping in and tuning into you because that's really why we're here. All
Yes.
right. Any other questions or any other shares that y'all would like to share? If not, I'll go ahead and share announcements. Okay, so the 1,000-hour certification starts March of 2024. So that is what we're doing, where we have scholars from all over the world are invited to come and study yoga at a whole different level than what's seen in our culture these days, really studying the benefits of yoga, doing studies that'll be published and co-published with myself and other trainers. And so that's something that I'm really excited to make as a resource and a yogic text for those that are coming in the future who really want to understand that, yes, yoga is a real thing and it can really help people break through whatever they're struggling with. So that's something that we're going to be working on. Today, we were in the Yoga Anatomy coloring book. This is one of the texts for the training itself. And so if you're interested in learning more about the 1,000-hour program or any of the trainings that we have, then please do let me know. As far as events locally in Houston, we have the Hype Health Fest October 28th. And so whenever I host events, I always give the option for yoga teacher trainees to come and to get credit hours for attending. And then you get to see firsthand what it looks like to actually run an event, to be part of an event, and what that looks like to create opportunities for wellness in the community. So if you're interested in being a part of that and attending, or just want to know more about upcoming events, just stay tuned. I will be announcing more via email. All right. Well, that is our class for today. It was so lovely to see you all. It was a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you, Misty. Thank you, Fatima. Thank you, Ikwa, for joining. And I will see y'all same time, same place next week. We will be working on organs. Yes, organs for the entire month coming, the next month. This month, we are focused on joints. So we will be exploring joints for the entirety of this month. We have a few more classes to go on the joints, and then we're going to switch over into organs. Really excited to explore the body. Joints are my first way that I really tapped into yoga, because when I was diagnosed with lupus, it was inflammation of the joints. So I started to really study, and that's where I first fell in love with the studies and the ancient practices of wellness and yoga. So I'm excited to share some of my studies with y'all. I can't possibly share it all in a 1-hour call, but if you're interested in learning more, that's what the training is about, and then the self-research and all that. All right. I will see you later, Missy. I'll see you later, Fatima. I'll see you later, Nikwa. Have fun.